Okay, so we're going to take a look at the pivot arm, and this is in chapter 2. I'm going to go underneath my camera and we'll pull this down a little bit. So here's the pivot arm. And really, whenever we look at these, again, we're going to kind of just evaluate. You don't have to tie it to the 0, 0, but sometimes, especially if there's other coordinates you're going to be putting in, kind of nice just to have the absolutes, not have to worry about at symbols or froms and things like that. Yes. You can't after you start.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you want to identify that right away. So, and like I said, some parts it doesn't make a difference and you're not going to be it's not going to be bad if you don't use it, but then like you always have to use that from symbol, okay? Or that from command. So, I'm going to start right in the middle here. And so my approach is going to be I'm going to do my 2 circles in the beginning here, and then I'm going to do the outside circle, this outside circle, okay? And then I'm going to do the lines, okay? So I'll kind of show you how we'll do that. So I'm going to start with that middle circle, and it is a diameter. So I'm going to do center diameter. And right away it's saying specify your center point. So this is going to be 0, 0, enter. Now you'll notice that down here is where, I'm down in my lower left-hand corner. That's okay. And I'm going to do 6 inches. Did it go in? Whoopsie. I think I'm kind of locked up here. Hold on. 6 inches for my diameter. Now, it's not on the screen for me, so I'm going to do zoom extents. If you pulled that toolbar out, you should have it here. If you don't have it, it's under Tools, Toolbar, AutoCAD, and then you want to do all the way down at the bottom in alphabetical order. Keep going, is zoom. You want to grab that one, okay? Depending on your screen size, you might see the full menu, but I'm on a laptop, so it's a little short. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit with my roller, and I'm going to kind of push this into the middle-ish, okay? Then as long as I'm here, I'm going to put that, the diameter of 3. So if we look on our print, it says a diameter, or there's 3 diameters of 3. So I'm going to get close here. I did. Well, I have a circle there. It won't let you grab the origin if it's by itself, okay? That you can't do. So you have to put a 0, 0 in. But if there's an existing one here, you should be able to grab that center. So let me try again. Escape. Center diameter. Okay, now I'm getting close. Now it's snapping for me. Yep. So then this is going to be 3. There we go. Okay, so those are the 2 diameters at the beginning. Now, if I go back over here, I'm going to start on the right-hand side. You'll notice that from, which is my 0, 0 here, I just need to go straight to the right for this coordinate. So in this case, I'm 6.5 over, but 0 in the y because it's going to be in line. So it's going to be a 6.5, 0 coordinate. So I'm going to do another circle. Center, again, it's from the 0, 0 because I assigned the 0, 0 here. If you didn't do the 0, 0, that's okay. You're going to have to do that from command, okay? So I'm going to input the coordinates. So it's going to be 6.5, 0. So 6.5 is positive because I'm going to the right. 0 in the y because I'm in line. So I can just hit enter. And now here's the center. And I need a radius of 2.5, which would be a diameter of 5. And then right away, I'm going to put the diameter of 3 in the middle, okay? Now, as we look back, you're going to notice that I need to do these 2 horizontal lines, and they are going to be at what we call the quadrants of that circle, okay? So that's another snap that we could do in AutoCAD, all right? So if I go up here, you're going to notice kind of right in the middle of that Object Snaps toolbar, we have snap to quadrant. Okay, so we're gonna be utilizing that. But first I have to activate my line command, go over to quadrant, and then when I get close to the top of my circle, it's gonna grab the very top quadrant. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna left click And you'll notice how if I go horizontal, it snaps into that horizontal. Make sure that it's doing that because you want to make sure you have a horizontal line. And then you're going to just go beyond that larger circle a little bit, like into it, okay? Intersect over the top of it, like overlap. And then you're going to left click and you're going to hit escape or enter to stop the line command, okay? Then we're going to do the same thing at the bottom. We're going to do line, quadrant. I'm going to go down at the bottom here. You'll see like a little diamond, activate. And then I'm going to go horizontal. And then I'm going to overlap, okay? I want to overlap because then I'm going to trim away the parts that I don't need, okay? So I'm going to go up to my little scissors. I'm going to get rid of those two little tails that I had first. And then the inside portion of that, the one circle on the right-hand side, okay? Then escape or enter, and I'm good on the right-hand side, okay? So if I go back over here, so I've got this side done. Now I've got to get down here, okay? Now you'll notice that in this case, we've got a polar call out, right? Okay, so from 0, this is going to be equal to what they're going to reference as the radius, or that's the length of the line to where that center is going to be, okay? And then it's at a 45-degree angle, okay? So we have to put in, if you would, those coordinates. So let's kind of get started, and then we might go back and forth here a little bit. So I need to put the center of my center diameter of my circle, okay? And I'm going to use the diameter, I think it's a 5 for that outside portion. And it wants me to specify the center point of the circle, okay? Now remember, I have this at 0, 0, so it's going to go, you know, from absolute origin. So we are going to put in the distance that we want to go, and that's going to be 6.5, okay? And then we're going to hit tab, okay? And then we're going to put in the less than symbol for the angle, okay? The less than symbol is going to be our angle. So I did shift, and then it's the left than symbol. It's right next to the M, okay? Now, right here is where I need to put my angle in. Now, the angle, if I go back underneath here, this, from our origin, this is 0 degrees, okay? And then if I rotate counterclockwise is a positive direction. So I'm going to go 90, 180, and then 180 plus 45. How much is that? 225, right? 225? Okay. I'm going to be putting in an angle of positive 225. Okay. Oh. I've got it lost it when I went back and forth here. Hold on. So let me try that again. Center, select the center. So it's going to be 6.5 is going to be my radius. And then shift, oopsie, shift down here. And my angle is 225. Enter. So you should be right about here. Now, again, positive value because we're going counterclockwise. Does that make sense? I'll do it again. Let's do it again, just in case. So if you have to hit escape and start over, totally fine, because there's a couple steps here. So we're going to do our circle diameter. The center point, we're going to input 6.5, and then we're going to do shift, and we're going to do that less than symbol, okay? So now you're going to notice that it changes to like a degree in there, and we want to go that 225. Enter. And you should end up down here, okay? Now I'm going to put in my diameter. That's going to be 5, enter, and then we're good, okay? Now, how am I going to get my lines in there? Okay, so you're going to notice that underneath here, I mean, and there's always, like I said, there's different approaches to do things. So right now I've got my circle in here, and I need to get these lines that are going at an angle, okay? Now, these are not tangent to the big line or the big circle, right? They're just a line. So here's how I'm going to show you how I would approach this, okay? So I am going to draw a line, and I'm going to go from that center to the center of the hole that I just created, okay? And then now, using that offset command, I'm going to offset the distance of the radius, which is 2.5 on either side, okay? So now I'm going to go up to offset. And my distance, you got to pay attention. It's asking for the distance. This is going to be 2.5. Okay. Oh, did it go in? Yeah. And then now I'm going to select that center line, and I'm going to push up and to the right, not click, but just make sure you see a preview. And if you like it, you just click left. Okay. Then it's going to say select an object to offset again. So now we're still in the command. We're going to reselect that center, and we're going to push down to the right this time. And then we're going to click. Okay. And then now those are the two that I need. Okay. So using that offset command, you're going to find that offset comes in handy a lot. And then now we're simply going to trim away the parts that we don't need. Now, the other thing that we don't need is this middle line right here. Okay, so I'm going to hit escape, and I can either trim all of it away, or I can hit erase and I'll get rid of it with one click. Okay, so you want to clean that up. And then the last feature to put in here is going to be that small hole. I'm going to get close to that center, and then that is 3. There we go. And there it is. Any questions on the pivot arm?